Well, I thought I'd talk today about a few ways to deal with the heat here. Someone had asked me about this too, and even if they hadn't, I think it's a good topic to discuss, a necessary one. Depending on where you'll be in Mexico, there are certainly places that are a lot cooler, such as Oaxaca is very pleasant, quite cool in December, January, around that time of year. But what I think is, I've said this before, when in Rome, do what the Romans do. So if you don't see people out, as you don't right now, at this time of day, it's going on 11, then it's probably wise to not go out oneself. I've been told like 11 or so to about 4 in the afternoon, try to stay inside. People get up early here though, as I've mentioned too, quite early, and I've started to do the same. I don't like to take a nap every day, actually, but I've kind of fallen into that lately. But I get up early, about 5 o'clock, and I feel good, I feel refreshed, which is another thing too, a big change from Canada. When I got up later than that, at 6 or so, I very seldom felt refreshed. There was just always so much to do during the day, and it's just the whole culture and so on. It's not that way here. When I awake, I'm refreshed. I look forward to getting up, going about my business, going for my walk, which I couldn't do there a lot of the year, but I can here if I go early in the morning, which I did this morning. So I try to make a 3 or 4 kilometer walk every morning. I leave just as soon as the sun comes up in the morning, and it's a nice walk. And I was surprised when I started doing this at how many people are up at that hour, and there are people out jogging, men, women of all ages, like really young, older people. There's a walking club here too that goes out in the morning. Again, all ages, right? I usually go by myself though, and I like it. But you'll see a lot of people out walking, biking, or jogging, or out with their walking or jogging clubs, groups. So it's good to get that over early in the morning. And I think talking about staying hydrated, it takes more than water. Now this is something Hydrolite that I carry with me, and it comes in all different flavors. I get the no added sugar one. But you can make it at home yourself too. And there are different brand names as well, right? But if I'm going downtown to the park and taking the bus, I usually bring a bottle with me or buy one as soon as I get downtown and keep it with me all of the time. If I'm at home, though, what I do is I drink a tall glass of cold water, and I mix the juice of a lime. I have a lime squeezer. Mix the juice of a lime, and I use a salt spoon from my little salt cellar. And it's not heaping, it's just fairly even with the top of the spoon. I mix that into the lime water, and that's a good electrolyte boost. Water alone isn't going to do it, right? I made that mistake at first, and I love water. I've always been a water drinker, another sugary drinks drinker. And I knew I was drinking a lot more water here, which is fine, I liked it. But I was starting to just not feel, I could feel something was not right. And with a little bit of research and advice from friends too, they said, no, you have to take some citrus juice and some salt, because the salt sweats out of your body quickly. And I noticed that with my clothes, there'd be these big white stains all over, like the legs of my trousers and even my shirts, and I'd be like, what is going on? I wore those things just for a couple hours, and what are all the white stains? That's the salt leaving you in the sweat, right? And that didn't happen to me in Canada, that was just here. So you've got to stay not just hydrated, but with electrolytes, with the citrus juice and salt. And those things I probably drink, depends what I'm doing too, but I probably drink 2 big glasses of that a day. And the store-bought one, of which I've informed you, I just keep that in the fridge in case I'm going out. and I want to have it on hand. But sometimes I bring it myself, something I made myself too, if I think of it, and have any on hand. That's usually the problem. I don't have it on hand. I drink it right away. But anyway, so that's one thing. I don't use the air as much as some people do, and each to their own, right? It's people's own personal choice and their own money, so they can do what they like with it. When I first arrived last August, I think I had the air on 24/7 for about the first 8 days or so. And then I realized, you know, every time I would leave the room, it would felt like I was hit with a ton of bricks. It was absolutely awful. And going outside was even worse. And then the sun was so bright, and I didn't have sunglasses then, I do now. And I would advise everyone to be well prepared with sunglasses. It's just so bright, it's stunning at this time of year, glaring. After the rainy season stops, it's not as extremely, extraordinarily bright like it is right now. But I thought to myself, okay, I have the one air conditioner in my bedroom. I have 2 fans. I don't want to start depending on the aircon 24/7, and it makes things, there's too much of a big shift for your body when you're leaving that and going outside. And I realized I'm just gonna have to literally sweat it out for a couple of weeks and try to become a bit more acclimated to the heat. With some precautions, of course, not going out in the middle of the day. So that's what I started to do. When I would come back, I would turn on the air for about 45 minutes, maybe an hour, just to cool down the room. I'd close the door and turn on the 2 fans. And with that was enough to cool me down and to stay at a comfortable level. And now I do the same thing. I just turn it on if I come back from a walk and I'm really like super overheated or something. So I'll turn it on for about 45 minutes or so with the fans blowing on me. And that really helps. And I just click it off and I'm okay to go on. I'm sure that there will be a few more days in July. We're not through June yet. I'm sure there'll be a few more days in July and in August when I might have to use the air conditioner more. My electricity bill came for the last 2 months, and that was, I think, 670 pesos, and that was up a lot, actually, and that was just from using the air, I think. And again, as I've stated, I didn't use it that often, but it's still, even with that small amount, it really ran up the electricity bill. So in Canada right now, I think the exchange is, I'm not sure what it is in the States, is it 17, something like that? In Canada, it's under 13, it's 12, and it varies every day. I think it's like 12.70 something is the exchange. So you can do your own math into 670 pesos, that's what it was. But that was up a lot because it came to, what was it? For last September, October, I think it was $9 for both of those months. And I think that's just something I'm going to have to figure in for the last 2 months and for, well, the next bill will be for June and July. And I think August, September, and it will go back down again then. So that helps a lot. And you know, right now there's a nice breeze. The sun is still strong. Like, don't get me wrong, but there's a nice breeze. One thing I noticed too is almost everyone is out carrying an umbrella. So that's another good way to protect yourself from the sun. I always wear a hat too, I always have. But I carry an umbrella too. And that's not a bad idea in case there's a sudden rain shower. It can come up really quickly. Can't always tell. So all of those things, not just staying hydrated, but with the electrolytes, the salt and the lime juice, or the store-bought electrolyte drink, and you'll find them in everywhere, every little store and every drugstore. It's more expensive, and I do like, well, as I said, they're handy to have if you're going out on the bus, but I really do prefer the one I make at home with the citrus juice and the salt. Uh, I find I'm not eating as much as I did in Canada either, and I'm not going hungry. I've lost over 25 pounds without even trying here. And that's just because, well, I can walk more. And the heat does kind of take away some of your appetite. But also, the food is just so much better. An orange here is not like an orange is in Canada, or a grapefruit, or a lemon, or a lime. They are just so much more flavorful. That even goes to like bananas, pineapples, melons, tomatoes, everything is just so much more good here and so much more delicious. So that's, for me, that's been a huge help. My fruit, and I've always liked fruits and vegetables, but you know when you there peel an orange and it's dry, or a banana that just doesn't have that much taste, it kind of, well, doesn't really make you want to eat a lot of them, even though I would try to force myself. But here, no. I'll sit down and have two or three, and they're just so good. The juice will be dripping off my face onto my lap. The lemons are like that, and the limes, they are just so juicy and good. And it wasn't that way up there. I remember when I would come here and I would be working with Wadi, doing projects with the university here of the Yucatan, I would always lose weight. And I would get back to Canada, I think I'll just keep it up. But I would buy a bunch of bananas, a bag of oranges, and think, these just, they don't have it. They're not good. And that was always a struggle, but now, not so. So I keep the shades pulled down too during the day. I have the windows open, but the shades pulled, and I have to keep an eye out because of the rain. I don't want the rain flooding in, and it will. It does flood in, it pours. So you've got to be aware of that. The evenings are a nice time to walk as well. Like after 4, it just suddenly becomes a lot more pleasant and cool. There's almost always a nice breeze that builds up. And you'll notice a lot of people start coming out and walking at that time. So, all little things to take into consideration. The bus, I had thought that the first bus left here at 7, but someone told me, no, the first bus goes at 5. But the market doesn't open until 7, and if you did take the first bus, there wouldn't be a lot really places for you to go downtown. You might have to hang out in the park for a little bit, which is fine. It's a safe place, and it's a nice big park. There's lots of places to sit. But I've discovered that the hard way. Go early. And there's also a group of people here that go to the market about once every 3 weeks, so sometimes I'll go along with them, riding in the back of a pickup truck. The last time I did that, though, there was a breeze in the back of the truck, but it was still hot, and I felt it. I didn't have heat stroke, but I could feel there was something not quite right, and it was because of the heat, and I was sweating like crazy, and I hadn't brought my Hydrolyte with me. I had water, but as I said, that's not going to do it because you're losing salt, and the water won't restore your salt. I wouldn't take the bus after 10 right now until the rainy season stops. Another thing here, the ants have now come out and are out in full force. I don't know if you can see the little, I don't like to shake, but I'll show you what the ants have done to my grapefruit tree here. Do you see all those leaves that they've eaten off of it? Look at that. I don't know why. They just did it to the grapefruit tree, not to the mandarin tree or to the other tree. So I had this all cleaned up here. If you'll see, this is just so full of weeds. I had all of this cleaned up just a few days ago, this past week, and already you can see how many weeds are sprouting. It doesn't take long. You got to really, really keep after it. And once we have a rain, of course, everything will just pop up here. The side of the road here